Gala Audric is an interdimensional traveler, and is confirmed to be King Aurelius from another timeline, a timeline where everything lies in ruin. Now he watches over his children, and assists Uden in the main campaign as a 5-star light axe unit. Performance-wise, he is very similar to Gala Alex, with the skill reservoir and skill chain mechanics. This will be incredibly interesting, as Gala Alex was at one point one of the most overpowered units in game. As an abstract, he is basically an upgraded version of Gala Alex. Let's see how true is that abstract, by looking at his kit. Gala Audric has a unique combo chain that is slightly faster than the normal axe combo and hits twice at the 5th combo. The modifiers are identical to the normal axe combo, but has a slightly slower SP gain. He also has a unique force strike that has higher overdrive modifiers than the typical axe force strike. The type of force strike he has is more like a bow unit, being movable and directional. This allows his force strikes to be effective at shredding the overdrive bar. For this particular SP cost doesn't really matter that much, as both of his skills consume one level of the reservoir in order to be used. His first skill, Overkarma, deals 1170% damage, inflicts flash burn, and dispels one buff from each target. If this skill is activated again 3 seconds after initial activation, skill chain is triggered. During skill chain, the skill does not inflict flash burn, but instead deal increased damage against flash burn foes at 1404% damage. This skill is his bread and butter, being able to deal good damage, inflict flash burn, and dispel enemy buffs. Speaking of dispelling, this skill might be the lowest costing dispelling skill in the entire game. As the skill only costs 1 reservoir, which is equivalent to 1129 SP, I can say that this skill is incredibly low cost for what it can do. But, to trigger his skill chain properly, he'll need to have at least 2 levels of the reservoir ready, which makes his skill cost around 2230 SP for 2 continuous strikes. Overall, this skill is a Swiss Army knife, able to accomplish many things with a low cost. His second skill, Circlet of Exaltation, deals 1586% damage. During skill chain, it deals additional damage to flash burn foes, dealing 1903.2% damage. This skill isn't as flashy as his first skill, but deals a lot more damage, and is optimally the second and third skill within a typical skill sequence of this unit. With that in mind, the typical skill rotation of Audric starts with his first skill, followed by 2 consecutive uses of his second skill, allowing skill chain to be triggered on his second skill, dealing increased damage. Overall, this skill is designed to work in tandem with his first skill, and is his major source of personal DPS. Audric has 30% critical damage, and 6% defense as his co-abilities. Both of these are good ones to have, especially the former, which can greatly increase the damage output of the entire team. For abilities, we'll start with his core ability, Undying Will. This ability is the one that gives Audric his 3-level skill reservoir that can be filled with all normal attacks that make contact with the enemies. He also gains a 2% attack rate boost every time he uses a skill, which can stack up to 5 times. Audric also gets a defense amp every time he uses 2 skills, with a 30-second cooldown. Like most Gala units with amps, he has a maximum amp level of 3. The attack rate boost, combined with his relatively fast combos, allows for faster filling of the skill reservoir. His resistance ability is called Interdimensional Blessing, granting dual immunity against poison and curses. Units with dual resistances are always among the best choices in Tartarus battles, as you don't have to worry which portal you'll enter to. His final ability grants him 35% gauge accelerator. This combined with his high overdrive mods in his force strikes, makes him the third unit that has high focus on overdrive shredding, with the Gala versions of the eldest children of the Alberian royal family being holders of this role too. It's interesting to see that the king, eldest prince, and eldest princess currently having this role. Gala Audric is able to accomplish many roles, mainly DPS, flash burn applicator, dispeller, and overdrive bar shredder. He'll do incredibly well with a generic offense build, even having additional gauge accelerator is good on him. He doesn't need skill haste, as his skills have an incredibly low SP cost, considering that one level of the reservoir equates to 1129 SP, and his passive that increases his attack rate every time he uses his skills. For his dragon, a dragon with good offensive capabilities will be good on him. His best choice is Reborn Gene, with her high damage modifiers. Thor is a good second choice, with the occasional increase in skill damage from energization, but suffers from inconsistency as he gets additional strength from energy levels. Raphael is a good choice for her good strength modifiers, and her defensive passive that can keep Audric alive. Lastly, Gilgamesh and Cupid are good options, if there aren't any more powerful dragons available for Audric. For his weapon, as usual, the Agito weapons are always the top choice. However, in this case, Tartarus stages are one of the toughest among the Agito, even on expert. Therefore, if you do not have the Rogmol, and is incapable of fighting Tartarus on your own, then you can first take the mighty Thunder Crash, until you collected enough materials, to craft the Rogmol for yourself. For his Wimprint setup, I'll go for this particular setup, a generic DPS build for an axe unit, with flurry strength to complement his faster attack speed. There is another setup, that I discovered in Zappa's video on Legend Tartarus, and is as shown here. It manages to trigger two forms of Wimprint affinity bonuses, in the form of Swords Boon and Lance's Boon, providing him with additional buffs. Gala Audric is really an upgraded Gala Alex, with the benefits of Gala Alex, plus easier access to dispel, and having good overdrive shredding capabilities. In this regard, he can be considered as overpowered, which is great in the light element, as the light element was formerly assumed to be the weakest element. For his weakness, one comes to mind. His defense amp cooldown. At 30 seconds, it would not permit team amp level beyond level 1, unless there is another defense amper in the team. But overall, Gala Audric is definitely a powerful unit to have, and with Legend Tartarus now available, he'll definitely be featured in many videos on Legend Tartarus clears. Now go out there, and have the entire royal family lined within a single team for the lols. That's all from me. Moga out.